Call the meeting to order. I want to acknowledge that the Smokeman Valley, in which we learn, work, and organize, is the ancestral, traditional, and unceded territory of the Smokeman people, home of the Upper Smokeman Indian Band. Before we adopt the agenda, there's two amendments to it. 9.2, under correspondence received, action requested. There's a letter from Under the Stars event, and then the other one is 12. We need a 90.1 under that. So with that, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Willis. Seconder, Councilor Elliott. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Motion to adopt the April 16th regular meeting of council minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor McLean. Seconder.
Second.
Councilor Willis. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? It's carried. We have no petitions or delegations today, which takes us down to 6.1. Staff reports, alternative approval process, results, fire hall loan authorization bylaw, I guess CAO, since James isn't, oh, Carrie, okay, Carrie's gonna, okay, Carrie, give her.
This is just the results of the alternative approval process. We received 0 forms in, so we received approval from the electors to continue on with the fire hall authorization, loan authorization bylaw. And I'm asking council to receive my report.
Perfect. Motion, questions? Motion to receive?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor Elliott. Seconder? Councilor McLean. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we're gonna go down to 6.2, which is a wild animation festival. Gary, welcome back.
Thank
All
you.
yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nice to be back. So this is a project I've been working on for a while with one of the vendors that we deal with, and it's a wild animation festival. So we spoke before about some of the things we were doing with working on the statues and bringing them to life. Over the last year, we've been working with Vancouver Film School to make some of these things happen, and some of the classes there they've been participating. So Princeton has been a focal point of study at Vancouver Film School, and also the fellow who facilitates that program went and has spoken at universities in Brazil and Mexico, and I've seen the presentations, and it's all about Princeton. And one of the nice things was the Brazil presentation actually got people from Brazil that came up here last summer as a result of the presentation he was doing down there to the universities with some of the animation features. So the idea was there's nothing like this going on anywhere, and animation is an up-and-coming career field for a lot of people to look at. So we thought about doing this wild animation festival with conjunction with Vancouver International Film Festival and University of Capilano, and the response has been fantastic. We've got people coming down to speak, and they'll be hosting some workshops, so we're reaching out to the schools and hopefully getting some kids to come up and see some of the things that they can do, or anyone that's interested in possibly pursuing that. And it'll further showcase Princeton as an opportunity for possible post-secondary that can be done remotely or satellite office. And again, if we can, further the fact that there's interest here, and things like this festival generate that interest, I think it'll go a long way to us seeing some post-secondary education opportunities that will be available right here in town. The response has been great. You'll see some of the bios of some of the people that are coming. He's actually had to turn people away that wanted to come because we just don't have the capacity right now for it until we see what happens. So one of the head animators for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was involved. Adult Swim, the cable channel Adult Swim, there's some involvement there. And you'll see some of the bios from the other people. So the week before is in Vancouver. I'll be going down for that and promoting us at that. It's the weekend before, and then the following weekend is here in Princeton.
Questions?
Yep. Sorry, I didn't see, where is it, where are we doing it at?
So it's going to be at the library,
Oh, yeah.
and then also at the evening we'll be at the arena in the upstairs the mezzanine there. Yeah.
Same question I was gonna ask.
Have you reached out to the Okanagan Film Commission?
Not with this, no. Not yet. Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, looks good.
Okay. Unfortunately, I won't be here, but looks good. We have a staff recommendation that council receiving information for, receive the information.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Elliott, seconder.
Second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Willis, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Thanks, Gary. 7, is that gonna be an annual, is that your plan?
I'd like, that's the goal, if the interest is there, and it seems like it based on how many, like, the animators that have come out that want to be part of it, it's like, it's amazing, I hear about it every week, about new ones that wanted to be part of it. And I mean, it's kind of nice that we had it full, that there's that much interest in it, so it would be nice to become an annual event. And then the potential is bigger, right? Who knows, we could be doing bigger venues and have more, so this is kind of a test run with it right now.
Kelowna's a major center for animation.
Yeah.
They do Disney and everything over
Yeah.
there. And Vancouver does a lot of those animations on Cartoon Network and all those things, so. But we
The
lost
tie-in
but
with-
we did lose our film credit in the interior for doing animation, so.
Oh.
So there's something we can work towards, so.
The tie-in with Vancouver Film School has just been fantastic, like the amount of interest with the students. And they have so many foreign students that were there. Probably there were a lot of foreign students. It's a little down a little bit now, but there's been a ton of interest in it. So it's been pretty exciting to work with these guys.
Thank you. Council reports, Councilor Willis.
I have nothing really to report right now, Mr. Mayor.
Elliot.
I attended an Arts Council meeting a couple weeks back. Very ambitious plans with this committee now. And if they accomplish even half of what they're planning, I think they'll set the town on fire. There's some big things coming down the pike for sure. And I keep thinking about this animation thing, and I can't get it out of my head. I keep thinking, wouldn't it be cool to see 30-second, 15-second little animations of the statues around town coming to life and inviting you to Princeton? You know, things like that.
I'm hoping we're gonna have 3 of them by this time this happens.
Perfect, perfect. That's my report, Mr. Mayor.
McLean.
Nothing to report.
Okay. I've been pretty busy as usual. Start on the 23rd of April, we met with the ALC for our application for the airport property. Later that day, I met with the local representative of the BCTF. On the 24th, I went to Lake Country, where I attended the Okanagan Similkameen Collaborative Leadership Table, which is a water management table between the Okanagan Similkameen local governments and the First Nations within the region. Terms of reference were agreed upon, and we're moving that forward. Slowly, after that, we had an election for a co-chair. There'll be one chair from the local government side and one chair from the Okanagan side. And so a councillor from Lake Country was elected as our chair. Then we gotta find my calendar again here. Last week was Silga, attended the Silga AGM and convention over in Merritt. It was a great convention. Councillor Gould was there as well. This year we focused on community and economic development and bringing those things to life and whatnot. It was just good to be close to home. I got to come home every night instead of staying in Merritt, and I'll tell you that sometimes takes the stress off. We had our opening ceremonies up at NVIT. People got to see the great facility up there, and if you've never taken a tour up there, that's something you should, if you get an opportunity, to go check out, because they've got a great university up there. Then I had on yesterday, I was in Karamias for a SVPS executive meeting. A little bit of change in management down there. The mayor of Karamias stepped down, and So the vice chair, Tim Roberts, who's the Area G representative, our director, was appointed as chair, and then I was appointed as vice chair. So just getting everything together with our staff member and whatnot.
What does SCGS?
SPPS, Similkameen Valley Planning Society. And then today, I just finished up a Highway 3's Mayors and Chairs Coalition meeting. Just trying to get ready for UBCM and what's on our agenda for that. Got to speak with representatives. The paving of the intersection at 5A and 3 will not take place until June, I was told, so I've asked them to do something about the massive hole that continues to grow and grow and grow. In the meantime, they will also be doing paving sometime this summer from town up to Sunday Summit on our section of the highway. I brought up the concern that the Eastgate community has on, they're gonna put a concrete delineator in the middle of the highway up at Eastgate. Community members up there are pretty upset. The director came to me asking if I knew how to get a hold of somebody, so I brought it up at today's meeting. Hopefully we'll hear back from them. The turnaround point will be, from what we understand, will be about 10 kilometers from Eastgate at the next possible intersection. So you won't be able to cross over and go to the gas station if you're going towards Vancouver, and the fire truck won't be able to cross the road. And I also brought up the corner in Headley, and with the Chicheway Hall reopening, if there was some way we could, try to bring attention of the speed to motorists as they come ripping down into Headley with all the activity that's happening at the hall now. So luckily we're not parking in front like we used to. We get to park on the side in the old ball field, but it's still, there's a lot of traffic and people don't slow down. So I think that's the bulk of it. Yeah.
What were the priorities that came out of the Highway 3 Mayors and Chairs?
So we're still on the Whipsaw corner. That's our priority in our region, is Whipsaw.
Was the ministry there?
Yeah, they're still trying to get funding for Whipsaw.
Because when we talked to them before, they were talking about bypassing, like going in and you came up by where the hill starts coming down.
Yeah, so they do have a fully priced plan to go over it instead of around it.
Yeah.
But as we are told every time we talk to government these days, we're broke. They've had to put a number of projects on hold, including some up by where is it, Maury or whatever it's called over there. There was supposed to be a passing lane put in, that's been postponed, and then a couple other projects have been postponed as well. So, but we continue to hound them. I mean, all of the good work that's happened is because of Highway 3 Coalition, and you know that because you were on that for a long time too. And it's a great coalition. We give them the 5 objectives for the year, and we'll have those finalized here in the next little while before we go to UBCM.
When we went to the minister one time as a group and approached him and started to talk about a section that we wanted to get done. And after like 20 minutes of talking to him about it, he said, "Oh, I thought you wanted all of Highway 3 done." It's just a section, please.
I will say the ministry does really appreciate that we come with, and we're united from Hope to the Alberta border with 5 priorities, and that's the only priorities we are like super focused on this year, minus our small things in our local communities. But it goes a long ways. So. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll move on to 7.2. So this is another report from me. So this is a proposed new policy with the Town of Princeton, a block party policy. So one of the things that we've been trying to do over the last few years is encourage block parties. I spoke with Nadine and worked with her on this, and so through the Community Foundation, people can get funds for block parties. There's a number of things that have to be done, so this just kind of formalizes everything and encourages block parties and whatnot. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those. If
we've heard of, there has been examples of it happening in town, and there had been money coming from somewhere, yeah, a little bit of money just to help them out with
Yeah.
food or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's a couple of funding streams right now, so that you can get, $500 from the Community Foundation, and then, you can, there's also, if you're successful, there's a, local love grant from United Way. So that's the second part of this is 7.3, which is another, it's to take some of our grant money and match what those that are successful to help pay for some of the other stuff, so. Cause I mean, so the whole idea behind the policy and the next part is to encourage community, like neighborhood growth and neighborhood collaboration, kinda going backwards in time and trying to bring people in neighborhoods and together again and get everybody talking to their neighbors, so. If there's no questions, I'll ask for a motion that we approve the policy.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Elliott, Willis, all in favor? That's carried. And the next part is a policy for a trial for ending in 2026, and that's that we grant to those recipients up to $250
Yep.
per event if they're successful in the Community Foundation grant for block party, and then the CAO or his designate can just grant that because it's already been vetted and everything through the foundation, and then they work with Nadine to put all the other stuff in place. Yep.
So moved.
Thank you. Councilor McLean,
So
second.
second.
Councilor Elliott, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Okay, we have correspondence received and file 8.1 letter from the Village of Telkwa to the Premier, and 8.2 Union of BC Municipalities Poverty Reduction Planning Final Grant Payment. There's no questions on that. I ask a motion to receive and file.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Willis, seconder.
Did
Councilor-
this come up at all in front of the Silga?
Which one? That?
Number one, A1,
No, that would have went to their association.
you're not aware of what they're getting at?
Where is it? It's right here.
Talking about operations and expenditures, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm not fully vetted on it. I haven't talked to, I guess I probably should have talked to Sarah, or, talked to one of them, but
Anyway, I would
just
second,
concerns around increasing costs.
I would second that.
Check. In favor? Carried. 9.1, correspondence action requests, South Okanagan Immigrant Community Services invitation to attend the Confronting the White Elephant Exploring Anti-Racism Forum. Just that anybody who's available can sign up to go to that.
That's Kelowna, is it?
That's in Penticton. It's at an undisclosed location because it's to make sure it's only by, you have to have a ticket to go. Once you get your ticket, then they tell you where you can go. It's to reduce the impact of targeted racism, which is on the rise, sadly,
For
in
sure.
our area.
Do we need
So
a
moved,
motion?
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor McLean, or Elliott.
Second.
McLean, all in favor? Carried. And then, numbered 9.2 is the late item. So I received this from a gentleman named Trevor Miles. He's with an annual concert here in town called Under the Stars Music Festival. It's between Beaumont and Princeton. They're asking for a letter of support. I think, rather than give them a letter of support, I think we should send this to our, to Ed at Protective Services and have him discuss it with the rest of the emergency community before we sign anything. This is the same location that was involved, or was cut off from the fire that was out between Beaumont and Tulameen a couple of years ago on Tulameen days. So I'm not comfortable signing that without.
But you're telling me that this has nothing to do with regional district?
So the region, yeah. So this is the funny thing, there's no permits in the regional district, and it's outside the fire area, so there's no jurisdictional boundary by the town or by the regional district. And so last time there was a fire there, BC Wildfire actioned it. Both of us got called in to deal with it. RCMP, thankfully, it was on, Tulameen days. They called in RCMP resources off of Tulameen days into the fire zone, so we had enough people in there to deal with the situation. So I have some major, I'll be honest, I have some major concerns. I had some major concerns with this event last year when I think it was last year, they talked to the CAO and myself about it, and we were kind of trying to urge them to find a different location. They continue to do it out there, and I believe this is only one of a number of events that are happening out there. But the regional district doesn't have any permits that they can apply to this. I've talked to the Minister of Emergency Management about this in the past. There's nothing they can do because it is on private property. But it does put a huge strain on local resources during a very busy weekend already. So I'd rather just hand this over to our professionals and let them.
I couldn't agree more with that part of it. The only other part is, from the perspective of the Tulameen days, is there a group or somebody that's heading that up, and what's their input in terms, this is not us, we're Princeton, like.
Yeah, but
Okay, no. Well, if you're talking about that we have access to the, fire control and blah, 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 and all that, no, not a problem, I agree with you 100%. What I'm arguing with is I feel guilty that this shouldn't just be coming to us. This should be going to the Tulameen days, it should be going to the regional district, just for input in terms of whether they have any jurisdiction or not.
Yeah, they've spoken to the regional director. He's told them to go and speak with staff. He's told them to speak with the fire chief, and everything else. This is a private for-profit event on private property outside of all of our jurisdictional boundaries. That's where this gets really sticky for me, and I'm not overly happy with signing a letter of support for the event at this time. So my suggestion would be that we send it to Ed and let Ed deal with it.
So moved.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McLean, second by Councillor Elliott. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. 10.1, Fire Hall Loan Authorization Bylaw. Is that one yours?
Yeah. I can speak to it, yeah. Just by way of background, council approved to proceed with the construction of Fire Hall number 2 on November 12th, 2024. Most of the funding is secured already, but the project does require approximately $1.39 million to be sourced. Council chose long-term borrowing as the preferred method of funding, and as you saw, the loan authorization petition went through. So council has chosen to do long-term borrowing as a preferred method of funding. Cost to service the MFA funding works out to approximately $20 for an average house, which this amount is likely to be decreased over time as more houses come on stream. Now that we have received approval of the electorate, then the next step is the adoption of the loan authorization bylaw. So the recommendation is that council adopt the fire loan authorization bylaw number 1052/2024.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
Moved.
Moved.
Second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor McLean, Councillor Willis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is anyone else amazed at how fast that thing went up?
Yeah.
Good God, we did something and said, okay, they can go ahead, and I think a week later, they had 3 of the walls already up. Jesus.
I drove by last week, I thought, oh my goodness, I could knock on the door and see if somebody's home. Yeah.
And I have to say, it's the cheapest fire hall in the region, so I'm super happy about that as well.
If you were to go into it today, you'd be amazed even more because all the framing is done inside now as well. So they're just starting to drywall it.
Wow.
So it's crazy how fast.
Looking at what the costs in the regional district are for our fire halls over there, they're almost double small hall. This will suffice for most of what they're doing too, so I'm super excited about it, so.
You'll just get up there with both buildings and the vet clinic and the.
Yeah.
it looks,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to look like something. All in favor? Carried.
That was the other perspective with the veterinary building going up there with the fire hall and, you know, town shop, and it's just starting to look
Yeah,
like a industrial park.
yeah, for sure.
And actually, when you see some industrial parks, I think this one looks nicer than some of them that you see are just kind of scattered stuff all gathered around. This one, I don't know, it looks nice.
Their house is nice, but ours is nicer.
More lawn care.
Our yard
Yeah.
looks better. 10.2 is the 5-year, the 2024 5-year financial plan, 2025 to 2029.
Yeah.
See ya.
I can speak to that. Background, council and staff have developed the financial plan through strategic planning, special budget meetings, and public consultation. Council gave first and second reading on November 24th. We've done 2 public open houses that were held in March 2025. Third reading was given on April 16th, 2025. The financial plan needs to be passed prior to the tax rate bylaw, which is next. So the recommendation is, now that we've gone through 3 readings and done our public consultation, we've met all the criteria, the recommendation is the council adopt the Town of Princeton Financial Plan Bylaw number 1054, 2024.
Does this mean we can spend the money if we
Yep.
approve this?
Mhm.
You can go crazy now.
Counselor McLean.
I would so move, but I feel guilty without Councillor Gould here.
I'll second it, and I don't feel guilty that Councilor is not here.
Come on.
Because there'd be a few questions.
No, it's just, I'm assuming she's okay with it.
Yeah. All in favor? Carried, thank you. So we can get the Mason Hall knocked down now? Before it falls down on us?
Yeah.
Waiting for a big windstorm. Number 10.3 is Town of Princeton Tax Rate Bylaw number 1056, 2025.
All right, so this goes hand in hand. The revised rule was issued by BC Assessment on March 26, 2025. The revised rule now has set the 2025 tax increase at 5.59%. Translates to an average house value seeing an increase of approximately $117 per year. And just a little side note, we always like to sort of measure ourselves. Out of 154 reporting municipalities, Princeton ranks 151st in total burden for taxes and charges, so we still remain relatively inexpensive and very attractive. Council has given first, second, and third readings as per the financial plan bylaw, which we just discussed earlier. Property taxes are due by the end of day July 2nd, and the bylaw allows for an alternative collection process, assessing a 5% penalty on balances owing after July 2nd, and a further 5% penalty on balances owing after October 1st. So the recommendation is that council adopts the tax rate bylaw number 1056, 2025.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Willis, seconder. Counselor McLean. Oh, you have a question?
I don't wanna break it to you, but some of the fact that we are at that position in a number of communities, maybe that we have a mine and a mill and a number of other major businesses in the community that help out a lot with,
Yeah,
when it comes to tax time.
we're very fortunate and appreciative, for sure. We're in a good position.
I will point out that when we took office, we were 7th lowest, now we're 8th lowest. We've creeped up one position in 7 years. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, with that, I will ask for a motion to close 90.1 under 90.1G, litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality, and 90.1K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at the preliminary stages, and in the view of the council, could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality if they were held in public.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Elliott, seconder.
So say.
Councillor Willis, all in favor? Carried, thank you. And anybody watching, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.